Hello, everyone. Today I want us to have a really open and gentle conversation. One that's especially for my fellow African parents who are navigating life here in Germany. We're going to talk about a topic that, often gets kept behind closed doors: therapy. And more specifically, speech therapy for our kids. Let's just walk through this together with a whole lot of understanding.
Does that thought sound a little familiar? It's that quiet worry, isn't it? The kind of thing you might whisper to a friend or maybe just hold in your own heart. It's a thought that so many of us have, especially when we're raising our children between two different cultures and maybe even 2 or 3 languages.
And the very first thing I want you to know is that it is perfectly okay to feel this way. You are absolutely 100% not alone. In our communities, we often learn to carry these worries all by ourselves, but trust me, this is such a shared experience. Feeling concerned just means you're a loving, caring parent who's paying attention.
Okay, so let's tackle that big word, therapy. In Germany, it often means something completely different from what we might have been taught to think it means. I want us to try and look at it in a totally new light, not as a sign that something is wrong, but as an amazing tool to help our children really, truly thrive.
I mean, when you really break it down, it's pretty simple. Therapy is just structured professional support. That's it. It is not a sign that you failed as a parent, and it is definitely not a punishment for your child. Think of it like a helping hand, a resource you can use to help build up their confidence.
So let's get even more specific and talk about Logopädie. That's the German word for speech therapy. It's a professional health service for kids who might have speech delays or a stutter. And here's the best part. The therapists use playful methods. We're talking about games, fun exercises, and little routines. It's not some scary clinical environment at all.
And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, but this is so uncommon, just take a look at this number. According to the Robert Koch Institute here in Germany, over 11% of children between 3 and 6 have some kind of speech delay. That's more than 1 in every 10 kids. So this is a really common part of the parenting journey for so many families.
And you know what? Here's some really practical, really good news. The cost, which I know can be a huge worry for all of us, usually isn't an issue. All you need is a simple prescription from your pediatrician, and speech therapy is almost always covered by public health insurance. The system is actually set up to make this tool accessible.
Now, to make this all feel a bit more real, I want to share a quick story with you. It's a story about a little girl named Sylvia and her family, and it really shows how understanding this system can be so empowering.
So Sylvia was this bright little 5-year-old, and she was growing up in a home with multiple languages spoken every day. Her kindergarten noticed she was struggling a little bit with some sounds and had a stutter, so they did what's super common here. They recommended speech therapy, just a standard helpful suggestion.
But her parents, well, they saw it differently. Their reaction was something many of us can probably relate to. They said, "Oh, it runs in the family, and don't worry, she'll grow out of it." They were absolutely coming from a place of love and protection based on everything they knew from their own culture and family.
And right here, this is where a huge cultural misunderstanding happened. You see, the parents' intention was simply to protect their child, guided by their cultural norms. But in the German system's view, turning down recommended help can be seen as a failure to provide necessary care. And in their case, it actually led to a report being made to the Youth Welfare Office, the Jugendamt.
Thankfully, the story has a really happy ending. Sylvia's parents got connected with the right kind of culturally aware support, and they started to understand the system. They weren't punished at all. They were empowered with knowledge. And the most important thing, Sylvia got the therapy she needed to really shine.
Sylvia's story really highlights why the whole wait-and-see approach might not be the safest path here in Germany. It's so important to understand the potential risks, not to scare you, but just to be clear about how things work here.
I mean, if a speech delay isn't addressed, it can create some real hurdles for a child. They might have a hard time making friends or just expressing their big feelings. It can affect how they do in school, where language is everything. All that frustration can sometimes come out as behavioral issues. And, like we saw, it can raise red flags with the authorities.
And this right here is a really crucial piece of information. The German law, specifically paragraph 1666 of the Civil Code, says that parents have a duty to ensure their child's well-being. And in this system, not getting recommended help can sometimes be interpreted legally as neglect. Now, this isn't to create fear, it's just about being informed.
So let's just say this loud and clear. Reaching out for support, asking for speech therapy for your child, it is not weakness. It is not admitting you failed. It is an act of pure wisdom. It's you, as an amazing parent, using every single tool you have to help your child succeed.
Okay, so you might be thinking, where do I even start? Well, the great news is that the path to getting support is actually really clear and pretty simple. Let's just walk through the practical steps you can take, like, right now.
So first, it all starts with you, just observing your child. Then, the next step is to talk to your pediatrician. They are your first stop, and they're the ones who can give you a referral. Now, the key here is, please don't wait. Getting support early almost always leads to better, faster results. And finally, stay involved, ask questions, and educate yourself. Just remember, therapy is a normal and encouraged thing here.
If there is one thing I really want you to take away from our chat today, it's this. You do not have to figure all of this out on your own. There is a community out there that gets it. They understand your journey, your culture, and your questions.
And that community is called ParentCompassHub. It's an organization that was created specifically to offer culturally sensitive guidance for African parents living here in Germany. It's all about bridging that gap between our home culture and our new one.
And at the very heart of this community is Vera Sampan. She's a counselor who has been doing this for over 16 years. She has walked this exact path with so many families, helping them find their footing and navigate these challenges with real confidence.
So, I really encourage you, get informed, reach out, and get support. This is all about building up your confidence so you can parent joyfully and effectively across two different worlds. Because ignorance is not a shield, but knowledge is true empowerment. And I just want to leave you with this beautiful African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This journey of raising our children in a new land is a long one, and it is just so much easier and so much better when we walk it together. Thank you so much for your time.